Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Madera County Board of Supervisors meeting. It is Tuesday, May 20th. We will call this meeting to order. Are there any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions.
And County Council, will you read the items into closed session, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board. For your closed session today, there is a conference with your labor negotiators. That's under Government Code Section 54957.6, subsection 6. The agency designated representatives are Joel Bogue, Shanika Dixon, and Sabrina Mendez. The employer organization is all units, including all classifications of unrepresented employees but not elected officials. There are 3 existing litigation matters, one of them being a workers' compensation case, Larry Zyrtec, no, said that completely wrong, like an allergy medicine, sorry, versus the County of Madera, WCAB number ADJ 173866264. And the other 2 are Madera County Superior Court cases, Valley Groundwater Coalition versus the County of Madera, MCV 087677, and Cardoza with several plaintiffs versus the County Groundwater Sustainability Agency of County MCV 086218. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment on these items?
None online.
Thank you very much. We'll recess into closed session. Morning, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors. We are back from closed session. County Council is on her way out. Do we have any reportable actions?
My apologies, Madam Chair. There are no reportable action from your closed session.
Thank you. I apologize. I should have looked over first. So the first item on the agenda is the invocation. And this morning we have, apologize, I need to look my notes. Derek Pearl from First Christian Church with us. Welcome. And I will ask Melissa, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Go ahead and do the invocation first, please.
Okay. Father God, we come before you today with an agenda, but at the same time, we want to thank you for the blessing of living in Madera County. And God, through that, there are multiple opportunities, and we just thank you for putting the Board of Supervisors in place so that they can make the best decisions for the county. God, we ask that you would continue to guide them and lead them in this manner. We thank you for listening to us today, or intently listening to us today, and we just ask for your hand of guidance, continued hand of guidance on Madera. We thank you for it all. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States, Republic, and one nation, God, indivisible, liberty.
Thank you for that. Do any of my colleagues wish to open and close the meeting in memory of someone? Seeing none, we will move on to our public comment. The first 15 minutes of each regular session are set aside for members of the public to address the board on any matter under the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. The board will not take action on any items presented under public comment. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium and state their name and county of residence for the record. Do we have any public comment? Come on up.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Julia O'Kane, and I reside in the great county of Madera, California. I'm here today with Mike, and I can't say his last name.
Asagata.
Thank you. I'm coming as the chairman of the board of the Madera County Arts Authority. We are lucky to have your representative, Rob Poitras, on our committee. Our goal is to build a Center for the Arts downtown Madera to stimulate growth economically and on the ground with people enjoying our revitalized downtown. So I want to thank you for doing your part and getting the park organized and getting a very nice stage there in the park and getting a playground. So it's looking really, really good. Now we want to do another thing, which is to start a Friday night Eats, Madera Eats program and see if we can bring people downtown to enjoy an evening, talk with their friends and listen to music and enjoy our park in Madera. So I would like to invite you to our opening performance, and I'm going to give the flyers to it's this Friday night. It's 5 to 9 o'clock. And we have Madera, we have the Eats program, Madera Eats, through Mike this year, and he's helping us a lot in organizing. And then we'll have mariachi from Madera Unified School District, and then they will have some, I think, professionals with them as well. But it's a great showcase for great mariachi music that's being created over in Madera Unified School District. So I would like to invite you to come by. Parking is available in your parking structure or on the street, or if you live close enough, you can walk and come out. I think it's going to be a beautiful evening. And I would like to introduce Mike. He has a few things to say about starting out in Madera.
I think she covered a lot of the stuff about the event, but I just want to be thankful for having us come out here to Madera. It's our first time doing something like this out here. And it's been a long time goal of ours to, we do Fresno Street Eats, we do Reedley Street Eats, we do work in Kingsburg, Selma, all those kind of cities. And, Madera has been one that we wanted to get to for a while. And what strikes me about this effort is that it has seemed like a very, very collaborative effort from the Arts Authority to, some of your staff members that have been involved in this to a lot of different organizations. And it's really great. I think it's a model for how, we should be doing these things and how private public entities, can work together to create events for the public. And I'm looking forward to Friday, and I'm looking forward to further Fridays. So thank you guys all for your help.
Mike, how many
Thank
food
you.
trucks are going to be there?
About 8 or 9.
You're nine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Very excited about this. And we know that there's a lot of work going on in the background. So appreciate all the
Yes.
folks that have been participating.
The
in
county's
that.
been really, really supportive of our efforts, and the school district is providing the entertainment, and somebody's providing the garbage cans, and so we have lots of cooperation in all of this. So the city, the county, the school district, and the Arts Council are all working together. We hope to have this start out as something that's going to happen regularly, so the community can plan on it. So thank you very much for your help and your cooperation.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like Caglia Environmental is a sponsor, so they're
Yes.
probably providing the garbage cans,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Maybe. All right. Thank you. Anyone else?
None online.
And then online, I'll close public comment and move on to the consent calendar. All matters listed under consent are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. Do any of my colleagues wish to pull or discuss an item?
Madam, excuse me, Madam Chair, we'll need to pull item 5R Robert and move that to June meeting. There is an error in the board letter in the reso that can't be overcome simply, so we're going to redraft that and bring it back to you. It's 5R Robert.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm not seeing anyone pulling any items. Do we have any public comment on the consent calendar?
None online.
Close public comment and bring it back to the board for action.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
That includes the removal of R in your motion?
Yes. Removal of R, Robert.
Okay, thank you. We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Poitras,
Yes.
Supervisor Wamha,
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Kara Gonzalez.
Yes,
Vote passes 4-0.
thank you very much. Item 6A.
Public Works Department Engineering Services Division, presentation of a proclamation recognizing May 18th through May 24th, 2025 as National Public Works Week in the County of Madera.
Thank you. Welcome, Dominic.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board, Dominic Tyberski, Madera County Public Works Director. And before you this morning to request approval of a proclamation recognizing the week of May 18th, 2025 as National Public Works Week here in Madera County. Since 1960, the American Public Works Association has sponsored National Public Works Week during the third week of May. This year's theme, People, Purpose, and Presence, highlights three cornerstone ideals that motivate public works professionals to serve their communities every day. Meeting the needs of people who live in our community is what gives public works its sense of purpose. And many times, public works professionals will never meet those lives, will never meet those whose lives we have positively impacted. Wow, I really chopped out. Public Works is ever present, working in the background to maintain and advance the quality of life for all Madera County residents. I want to take this opportunity to publicly thank the many hardworking individuals who make up the Madera County Public Works Department. Individuals who at times work 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts to ensure public safety during emergencies or natural disasters. Being on call, working late into the evening, or working in the elements during the cold of winter and the heat of valley summers is par for the course. In my humble opinion, the men and women of the Madera County Public Works Department are some of the hardest working folks in county service. And at this time, be happy to answer any questions you might have. A number of our staff are here in audience as well.
Thank you, Dominic. Well, I think on behalf of the board, we want to thank your staff, the engineers, the technicians, the maintenance crews, and the administrative support for all the work that you do. A lot of it goes unseen, and this week allows us to recognize each of you for your contributions to it. And you're right, there's a lot of it's for our health and safety, so we really appreciate that. Do any of my colleagues have anything they want to contribute?
Yeah, I'd like to share a couple things that, I'm happy that this proclamation is here recognizing these folks, because these are sometimes the folks that don't get a lot of recognition, and their department has some of the most public facing things that they do, the roads, the maintenance districts. I live in the ranchos, and I can't explain how many times we've had blowouts on the water system, and our team is there at 2 a.m. Scooping water out and fixing these emergencies. And, I'm just so proud, that these people have so much pride in their work, because it shows. And I just want everyone in the Public Works Department to know that, we on the board here support you and just really appreciate the work and dedication that you guys have. You guys have really shown dedication to the residents of this county. It's not just to your job, it's to the residents of this county, and it is not overlooked. So thank you.
Before we present the proclamation, do we have any public comment on this item?
None online.
Okay, seeing none, if the public works staff wants to join us up for a photo, and depending on how many of there are, Dominic, you want to come back here with us? Stand here. We can kind of see. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And every time I run into Steve, I try not to have more than like a 30-second conversation with him because it's like, no, you have a lot of important things to work on. I don't want to stop you. So keep going.
Thank you. Item 6B.
Community and Economic Development Department Planning Division, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution to become a member of the CMFA in connection with the proposed issuance of revenue bonds by the California Municipal Finance Authority, a joint exercise of powers authority and public entity of the State of California in the amount not to exceed $30 million, the bonds, to finance and refinance the cost of acquisition, development, construction, and equipment of a 50-unit qualified residential rental project to be located at 39963 Sierra Way, Oakhurst, California, in the County of Madera, and approving the issuance of bonds by the CMFA for the benefit of River Grove 2 LP, a California limited partnership, to provide for the financing of the project. Such adoption is solely for the purpose of satisfying the requirements of TEFRA and the code and the California Government Code Section 6500 and following. The resolution will also approve, authorize, and direct execution of a joint exercise of powers agreement.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jamie Bax with Community and Economic Development. So before you is, yes, TEFRA, which is the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act. So self-help enterprises did approach the county to become a member of this JPA. CMFA, the California Municipal Finance Authority, would be the issuer of the bonds, who is here with us today, as well as self-help. I did do some research. There are many members throughout the state that are already a part of this. The city of Madera across the street are part of it, and over 300 cities throughout the state are also members of this. So there was a hearing held. County didn't hold the hearing, but they did separately on April 15th. No public comments were received as part of that. And again, county will have no fiscal, financial, or legal responsibility as they issue the bonds for this particular project. But I can answer any questions that you might have. Again, self-help is here as well as CMFA if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Any questions from the board? Comments? Do we have any public comment on this item?
None online.
Have none. I'll close public comment and bring it back to the board for action.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes,
Vote passes 4-0.
thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Item 6C.
County Administration Department resolutions establishing appropriations limits. Discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution establishing an appropriations limit for the 2025-2026 fiscal year for the County of Madera. Discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution establishing an appropriations limits for the 2025-2026 fiscal year for each and all of the County of Madera special districts.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Jessica Leon, County Administration. The item before you is the appropriations to set the appropriations or GAN limit for fiscal year 25-26. This is in preparation for next month's budget hearings. We are in a good position as the appropriations that we would be recommending next month are well under the established limit. So with that, we are available for any questions.
Thank you, Jessica. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Comments?
None online.
I'll close public comment and bring it back to the board for action.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes,
Vote passes 4-0.
thank you. Item 6D.
Human Resources Department, Social Services Department, Veteran Services Department. reorganization of the Department of Social Services and the Department of Veteran Services, discussion and consideration to adopt a revised job classifications for the Director of Social Services, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution providing Director of Social Services Deborah Martinez a 20-year longevity pay of 10% for the years of public service and providing oversight to the Madera County Department of of Veteran Services. Discussion and consideration to set the salary range for the Veteran Services Officer's job classification at range 20 on the unrepresented salary table, $86,596.28 through $106,502.50 annually as recommended by the Civil Service Commission.
Sabrina.
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair. Sabrina Mendez, Department of Human Resources. The item before you is a proposal to reorganize the Department of Veterans Services from a standalone office to an office within the Department of Social Services. The structural change is intended to enhance operational efficiency. It may also provide more streamlined services for veterans. Additionally, consolidation of the departments may reduce administrative costs over time. And so in preparation for the proposed alignment, the Civil Service on April 29th, 2025 adopted an amended job description for the Veteran Services Officer position to reflect revised reporting structure and responsibilities. The Commission also approved a corresponding salary adjustment for the position, which is now presented to your board for final approval. As department heads are not part of the civil service system, the revised job specification for the Director of Social Services is before you for your review and approval. And it's requested to be adopted by the board. If approved, effective July 3rd, Deborah Martinez, the current director, will assume additional responsibility of the newly integrated Veterans Services Office. And in recognition of these added responsibilities, it is requested that she receive a 10% longevity pay adjustment. The reorganization, of course, is contingent upon the board's second reading and approval of the ordinance to the amendments or of the ordinance amendments to Chapter 2.30 and the repeal of Chapter 2.34 that's outlined in the next agenda item. And this is for your review and consideration.
Thank you, Sabrina. Any questions, comments from the board? Supervisor Rogers.
If I'm not mistaken, previously the Veteran Services Officer was funded through general fund. Is that right?
Correct. That is correct.
And I like this adjustment. I think it's a smart move for the county, saving money from the general fund. It's really where it belongs. It's a social service directed to the the veterans of our community, and I think it'll be better handled under the directorship of Deborah. And glad to see it move. Thank you.
Thank you. And just in research, as some background information, in researching, many of the other counties do have this proposed structure.
Very good. I'm glad that you looked at that. That's going to save us some money, discretionary.
Anyone else? Do we have any public comment on this item?
None online.
I'll close public comment and bring it back for action.
Move to approve?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes,
Vote passes 4-0.
thank you. Item 6E.
Human Resources Department, Veteran Services Department, first reading to consider amending Chapter 2.30 and repealing Chapter 2.34 of the Madera County Code relating to the reorganization of the Department of Veteran Services as the Office of the Department of Social Services. Set the second reading for June 3rd, 2025.
I
Good
move
morning.
to waive the first reading and set the second reading for June 3rd, 2020.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second, but I'll call for public comment first. Not seeing anyone come up.
None online.
Close public comment, and we have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you very much. Item 6F.
Public Works Department Engineering Services Division, construction of the Road 427 Bridge Replacement Project at Oak Creek. Discussion and consideration of entering into an agreement with AG Construction Corporation in the amount of $6,223,696 for the construction of the Road 427 Bridge Replacement Project at Oak Creek and authorize the chair to sign. Discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the Department of Public Works or its designee to issue a notice to proceed in accordance with the provisions of the contract. Discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the auditor controller to issue payments for contingencies up to 10% of the contract award amount per established county policy. Discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the Department of Public Works or its designee to solely issue and approve contract change orders in accordance with the Public Contract Code and not to exceed authorized contingencies.
Dominic.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board, Dominic Tyberski, Madera County Public Works Director. I am before you this morning to request, approval of an agreement with AG Construction Corporation for the Road 427 Bridge Replacement Project at Oak Creek and authorize the chairwoman to sign the agreement. On March 26th of this year, the county received 3 bids for this project, all of which were considered responsive and responsible. Of the 3, AG Construction Corporation was the low bidder at approximately $6.22 million, which was within 5% of the engineer's estimate of $5.96 million. The existing bridge, which was constructed in 1975, was determined through biannual bridge inspections to be functionally obsolete with a sufficiency rating of 48.5 out of 100, necessitating replacement to bring the structure up to current standards. This project is fully funded by the Federal Highway Administration Highway Bridge Program, requiring no local match. Construction will occur in stages due to physical constraints, utilizing one-way traffic control with a temporary signal on the east end of the bridge, which will work in tandem with the existing signal at Indian Springs. Phase 1 will partially demolish the existing structure, utilizing the remaining portion to carry a single lane of traffic across Oak Creek while the first half is constructed. Second phase will utilize the newly constructed portion to carry traffic while the remaining original structure is demolished to construct the second half of the new bridge. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Questions or comments from the board?
I
Supervisor
do.
Wamhott.
I'm just thankful that, we were able to get this paid for solely through federal funds, through the bridge replacement program. And I'm just glad to know that our public works team is putting such focus on roads and bridges in Eastern Madera County, continuing to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'll open public comment on this item.
None online.
And I will close public comment and bring it back to the board for action.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Catch that?
Supervisor Wamhaugh,
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers,
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And item 6G.
Public Works Department, Engineering Services Division, Avenue 12 widening project from Road 40 to 800 feet east of Riverwalk Boulevard. Discussion and consideration of entering into an agreement with Avison Construction, Inc. in the amount of $14,446,036.30 for the construction of Avenue 12 widening from Road 40 to 800 feet east of Riverwalk Boulevard and authorize the chair to sign. Discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the Director of Public Works or his designee to issue a notice of proceed in accordance with the provisions of the contract. Discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the Auditor Controller to issue payments for contingencies up to 10% of the contract award amount per established county policy. Discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the Director of Public Works or his designee to solely issue and approve contract change orders in accordance with the Public Contract Code, not to exceed authorized contingencies.
Dominic.
Thank you. As stated, I am before you this morning to request approval and agreement with Avison Construction for the Avenue 12 widening project. On April 4th of this year, the county received 6 bids for the project, 4 of which were considered responsive and responsible. Of the 4, Avison Construction Incorporated, based in Madera County, was the low bidder at approximately $14.5 million, well below the engineer's estimate, which was just under $30 million. The construction project spans from 800 linear feet east of Riverwalk Boulevard to Road 40 and includes roadway widening, the addition of a raised center median, and 2 permanent traffic signals. The widening will improve the existing facility from 4 lanes to 6, commencing 800 feet east of Riverwalk Boulevard to Riverstone Boulevard Southeast. From that point, continuing westward, the project will widen the existing facility from 2 lanes to 4 until the project terminus at Road 40, where it transitions back to the existing 2 lanes. 2 permanent traffic signals will be constructed on Avenue 12, one at Riverstone Boulevard Southeast and one at Riverstone Boulevard Southwest. If approved by your board today, construction will begin mid-June and will last approximately 18 months. It should be noted, this construction project will overlap the SR 41 Expressway Expansion Project, which includes the Avenue 12 improvements from State Route 41 to the point 800 feet east of Riverwalk Boulevard. And the State Route 41 project is expected to begin construction in March of 2026. So this time I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Do we have any questions, comments from the board? Supervisor Rogers.
Yeah, what did you say the engineer's estimate was?
So the engineer's estimate was just under $30 million.
Do you have any concerns about the difference?
I do. And so I did look into it. There's a couple of factors that created that scenario. One, we are getting more favorable bids. We did bid very early in the season, which there's a lot of hungry contractors and you tend to get better bids. Also, the individual that prepared the estimate was working out of Los Angeles. So we think that may have had some influence.
Yeah.
So.
Very good. I mean, I don't knock getting more bang for the buck. That's awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Dominic, we're going to ask our CAO to chime in. He's got a statement.
Sure.
Oh, after. Oh, I apologize. Okay, then we have Supervisor Wamhoff.
All I can say is hallelujah. This project is finally here and going to be starting next month. This is so exciting. It's about 5 years too late, but it's here. So I'm thankful that we're at least at this point where we can start construction and get this ball rolling. It did a lot of pain points on Avenue 12, a lot of pain points on 41, but we're here. We're going to cross the finish line, get this thing done, and it's a big deal for the residents of Riverstone, the residents of the Ranchos, and for everyone who commutes along Avenue 12. Although I do suspect with 2 more permanent stoplights and another permanent stoplight in the Ranchos that's going to be installed here in the next 12 months, that a lot of commuters are going to be diverting to Avenue 9 for those daily commutes. But I'm just over the moon with this. We have a lot of exciting things happening in southeastern Madera County, not just road projects, but commercial, retail, development type stuff. And it's an exciting time. And just for the public's awareness, can you talk about funding for this? Because this is close to $15 million. After contingency, we're going to be probably around $16 million.
Absolutely. So in terms of the funding source, this project is being funded entirely by development impact fees. So those companies that are out there building homes and commercial developments as well, the impact fees from those projects are entirely funding this improvement project.
I think it's important to note when we talk about these big dollar projects, you had mentioned the bridge project from the item before,
yes,
being fully funded, but just general education for the taxpayers of this county, just to see where these dollars are coming from, and so they can just be better informed where that money is sourced. Because a lot of people think like, well, I'm subsidizing this or I'm subsidizing that, and it's important for people just to have a good understanding of where that money comes from. So thank you to your team. Thank you to everyone who had a hand in this, and make sure that we stay on top of PG&E to move those poles in a timely manner to the north side of Avenue 12 to not delay this project. But we are super excited. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we will have more exciting projects coming very soon in that area.
Thank
Can I
you.
pick it back off that?
Yep, Supervisor Rogers.
Yeah, I just want to say, Dominic, that I'm really impressed with the speed with which you move, the common sense that you use. And I just want to compliment you and congratulate you on what you've done just in your short tenure here. And you continue to amaze me. Thank you.
I appreciate that very much, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say that, the staff does the lion's share of the work,
Right.
and I certainly appreciate the opportunity to lead. But fortunately, I was blessed with an amazing staff when I got here.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
You bet.
Absolutely. Do we have any public comment on this item?
None online.
I'll close public comment and I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second?
We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamha,
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras,
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much. It is now 10:30. We will go into our public hearings, but before we start that, we have our CAO Varney with an announcement.
Sure. Sorry for the interruption here, Chair. However, I was working off of a previously printed version of our agenda today. So I gave bad direction to the board about which item needed to be pulled. It was not 5R. That item on your current most proper agenda is 5S. So in order to fix that error on my behalf, I request the board to reconsider in terms of having a motion to reconsider that item. There's two things that are required if we're going to do that. One is for someone who voted positively for the motion to make that motion. And then the other thing is we need to do it before the end of the meeting today. Otherwise, the original motion stands as is. So the item that needs to be fixed is currently 5S SAM. It has to do with community outreach. And as I mentioned earlier, there is a mistake in the resolution and in the board letter that's the same mistake, but it can't be cured just by saying, let's change it. So the original ask was to pull that item and move it to 6/3, your current to date 6/3, meaning June 3rd. Your current 5R Robert is fine to be included in the consent calendar.
Motion to reconsider?
Do we need that in two separate motions for?
Yeah.
So, Regina?
It sounds like there's a motion for reconsideration of item 5 of the consent calendar. It's like a subsequent need item. You need a motion and for it to pass to bring that item alive again.
I'll second.
So then there, if this passes, then yes, sir, you would have to vote again on the consent calendar.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. We will
I'm
vote.
sorry, who
Any
motioned?
public comment on the motion to reconsider?
I apologize. Any public comment on the motion to reconsider? Not seeing anyone. I'll close it. It was Supervisor Rogers and then seconded by
Poitras.
Supervisor Poitras. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Wamha,
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
And now we'll entertain a motion for the
Motion to
consent.
approve the consent calendar, removing item 5S.
I'll second.
Do we have any public comment on this item?
None online.
I'll close public comment and call for the vote.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Wamha,
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez?
Yes,
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you. Sorry for the confusion.
No
No,
worries.
thank you.
Things happen, right?
Okay, we will go into our public hearings. Item 7A.
Human Resources Department, public hearing to report the county's vacancy, recruitment, and retention efforts in accordance with Assembly Bill 2561.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Shanika Dixon, Director of Human Resources for Madera County. The following item is before you is a verbal report regarding the status of vacancies and recruitment and retention efforts for the county per Assembly Bill 2561. It's fitting for today since today is International Human Resources. So AB 2561 was signed into law in September of 2024, September 22nd, to amend part of the MMBA, adding a government section code 3502.3. And this law aims to enhance transparency and provide a structured approach for agencies to evaluate and address some of the staffing levels. AB 2561 requires that public agencies present the status of their vacancies, including recruitment and retention efforts during a public hearing before their board their governing board at least once annually prior to the adoption of the budget, which is why we are here today. There are also some other legal obligations associated with the bill to allow bargaining units to participate and give presentations at the hearing. All of the units here for Madera County have been notified and invited to participate, but there are none here today to provide comment on that. In addition, should any of the vacancy rates for a particular bargaining unit exceed or be at 20%, additional reporting requirements are necessary, which includes the number of vacancies for that specific unit, the number of applications received for vacant positions for that unit, and the number of days to complete a recruitment process, as well as any areas of opportunities when it comes to recruiting. So here on this slide, you will see a vacancy summary. The county has 13 bargaining units, and the following analysis represents each bargaining unit, the number of budgeted full-time positions in each unit, the number of vacant FTEs associated with that unit. This includes some of the vacancies that were created in the previous year as well. So in this case, part of that 545 that you see underneath the total vacant FTE on that column are from 2023 that had not yet been filled, as well as the remaining vacant FTE represents what remained vacant the year end 2024 and that corresponding vacancy rate. So the year end totals are down at the bottom. The year end total vacancy rates are is a total of 10.7. Now, in order to break that vacancy rate down, information down a bit further, we evaluated the driver of some of those rates and such as some of the retention trends and the key details for those vacancies. And you're going to see some of those key reasons here. The reasons for some of those vacancies are, staffing growth, if there's new positions that are added, internal opportunities, which are promotions and internal transfers, between departments, attrition, which is retirements and involuntary separations, and turnover voluntary separations. You can see under other, there's a number of 14%. And the reason why it says others is because prior to us reporting this information, the vacancy rates weren't tracked in such detail. So we have made some changes, which I will mention later on in the presentation. We've made some changes in HR to make sure that we're capturing that data in order to be able to provide this information in further public hearings. You'll also see that our annual staffing turnover rate is 12%, and our retention rate here at the county is 88%. Now, the rule of thumb is usually to have a 90% retention rate, and so I think the county is doing pretty well in that area. Our retention rate is pretty strong. There were a few units during our analysis that we identified that had a vacancy rate that either met or exceeded the 20%, and the first is the communications dispatch unit. Analyzing the recruitments for the vacant classifications in this unit, we were able to determine not only the number of applications received, but other factors like the number of qualified candidates, the number of eligible candidates, vacancies filled, and those numbers are there in the presentation. As you can see, although maybe we received 200 applications or the number represented here 125, not all of those applicants are eligible or qualify. And so that's why you'll see the differences in those numbers. You'll also notice under the days to fill the position, fill to requisition to hire and posting to hire columns, it shows continuous recruitment. This basically means that the recruitment is just open continuously. It does not have a closing date. And this is just a proactive approach that we take here that helps ensure readily available talent pool. It helps us streamline the process, cuts down on time it takes to fill some of those positions, reducing time it takes to hire. The second unit that was above or at the 20% was the postgraduate licensed professional unit. And it was at 20%. This has been historically positions that have been historically hard to fill in general. So we have taken some steps, and I'll talk about those. Made some efforts and making some changes so that way we can be a little bit more proactive in getting getting candidates for those. So units that exceeded 20%, these are the units that exceeded the 20% vacancy rate or higher. In collaboration with departments and the units, we are able to identify, and with your board's approval, we're able to address some of the obstacles that we saw when reviewing some of the vacancies and the recruitment and retention information. So for this specific, for those two specific units, we've made some changes to schedules, vacation bidding processes, as you see here, made some changes to some job announcements and how we advertise for those, as well as some revisions to align with the minimum qualifications and deadlines associated with meeting those. Also, some compensation review and some adjustments which were approved by your board some time ago. And I'm happy to say, as of today, or actually as of yesterday, the PGLP unit is now at a 12% vacancy rate, which we had a higher rate than that previously, and communications dispatcher unit is now at 8.33. So we're already seeing some improvements in those rates based on some of the efforts that we've taken to make those changes. So thank you for supporting us in that area. Overall, the county's recruitment summary is listed here on this chart. So this represents the number of recruitments that the HR department has opened in each unit, along with the number of applications received and evaluated. The recruitment team in HR works diligently to get through each application, ensuring that they are evaluated accurately. The number of vacancies filled as a result of each recruitment. In addition to the ones that you see listed here, there were also 2 department head recruitments with an additional 40 applications. On average, for the county, it takes about 132 days to fill a position. Now, this is from the time the requisition was put in until the day the person is hired. Some of our positions obviously require extensive background checks, and so that kind of delays the process a little bit just to make sure that we have the right person in the role. In addition to addressing the specific obstacles, we continue to evaluate the county's recruitment procedures and recruitment activities on a regular basis. The county adheres to a structured recruitment process, which includes comprehensive job analysis of job requirements, standardized application screenings, and by implementing a structured and compliant approach, the county ensures a fair and competitive hiring process while attracting highly qualified candidates. Now, although the county's recruitment process is pretty structured, because of course we have civil service rules, we have policies and procedures in place, we continue to review those recruitment strategies by thinking outside the box and just remain open and up to date on the different trends and strategies to ensure that we have a strong candidate pool for each of the recruitments that are open. So some of the countywide recruitment and retention efforts you'll see here, we are making efforts to increase our presence, the HR department, at job fairs. So far, we have attended 4 job fairs to date, where in last year in 2024, we had 4 job fairs for the entire year. So we are trying to make ourselves more present, looking for ways also to strengthen our relationships with some of the colleges, universities to make sure that we get out and have a place there at some of those events as well. The county also recently implemented the classification and compensation study, and we work with departments just to ensure that the use and the range of the advertising fits and is tailored to the desired qualifications of that specific position that are open. So first question we think about in the recruitment plans is, where are we advertising? Where is this going to hit the most candidates that are looking for that specific position? A job announcement on the county's websites have also been enhanced, and I'll kind of show you just a quick sample of what that looks like if you have not seen that already. And depending on the role and the target applicant pool, the county utilizes things like LinkedIn, industry-specific job boards, and professional associations to attract qualified candidates. Now, we're also making an effort to be more present on social media. And so thank you, Alexon, for assisting us in getting the word out there. He is going to put something together so that we were advertising on the main county social media pages, as well as the Madera Careers social media pages. Everyone looks at social media in different ways. They want something quick to be able to see what's out there. And so that's a great place to go. And we're always looking for ways to streamline internal processes. So we have streamlined internal requisition and recruitment processes to make things more efficient, such as collecting data for these types of presentations that we need. As I said before, early on, Some of the data that we needed for this, we didn't have because we were not tracking that. So we made some changes to our requisition forms internally for when department heads fill those out, we gather that information up front to be able to have that when we need it. We also made some enhancements to our job advertisement materials and our outreach materials. And you can see some of those here, included a QR code, just make it a little bit more updated and nicer to attract people to want to see what it is. With a QR code, you can easily just put your phone up there and scan it, and it'll take you to the job opening online. We're making sure some of those things are happening. Some of the other recruitment and retention efforts that you'll see is the county is committed to positive employee engagement. We have programs in place to foster positive employee experiences, such as a comprehensive onboarding program. And you all see that when you come to our new hire orientation. It's a full day of all things county, get to know each of the departments. Thank you all for stepping in and providing us some information on that. We have each department head attending those, so that way the new employees can see all there is at the county. In addition to that, there's employee engagement and recognition. We have excellent benefits, alternate work schedules, some hybrid work schedules, training and career growth opportunities. As you've seen in one of the previous slides, one of the vacancy reasons was because of transfers or in promotions, internal promotions. And so that was 28%, which is a large percent of why we have vacancies, is because people are moving around. They're promoting, they're going to different departments, which is what we like to see. Professional development is also something that's valuable here. Not only do we provide departmental training, but also training for managers and supervisors. We are part of a consortium that one of the legal offices locally, they provide training once per month for managers and supervisors to stay up to date on all of those things. And we also work on implementing a class maintenance plan. So we are working on that now, just to make sure that we regularly review classifications and they are up to date. So that way we don't have to have a class and comp study every year, which we don't want. We promote a positive workplace culture by highlighting employee successes. We've seen some of that today with our Public Works Department with the proclamation. We have things such as Employee of the Year, certificates of completion for various programs. We honor departments and individuals, and I think people feel valued when we do that. So it also attracts those people to want to work somewhere. We have county organized team building events, employee lunch at the park, holiday events, and opportunities for staff to be involved in local community events and activities or community service events, which provide staff and people who work here with a sense of pride of where they work. You know, we want them to be proud to be a County of Madera employee. So it shows that they're working for a greater cause, not just to come to work and get a paycheck. I know we all want that, but we also want to feel like we're part of something. And I think we do a really good job at that here. We want to ensure that we're highlighting that the county is not only a great place to work, but it's also a great place to live. One of my favorite questions that I ask in interviews, and I've always done this, is why do you want to work here? And it may seem so simple, but you get a lot of insight from someone when they tell you why they want to work here. Well, because I need a job or because I need a paycheck. But then there's also those that are, well, I've grown up in Madera, which there's a lot of individuals here, a lot of staff here at the county have lived there the whole life. We also have those that have moved away and came back because they want to give back to where they came from, and everyone that poured into them while they lived here, they want to come back and do the same. And I think that tells a lot about the county. People want to invest in the county that they work in and give back to the community. And I think that's exactly what we want, because that tends to bring loyalty and investment into the work. So the county remains open and committed to continuous collaboration with departments and bargaining units to support ongoing recruitment and retention efforts in line with the county's strategic focus areas and results. And with that, I have any questions. I also want to thank you all for your support in all of these areas, because without your support, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we're doing in HR.
Well, thank you, Shanika. Thank you for the comprehensive presentation. That's probably the most that I've heard from HR. So I really appreciate it that you're highlighting all that you do. This is a public hearing, so I'm going to open the public hearing. But do I have any questions or comments from my board?
I just have a comment. Happy HR Day.
Yeah.
To you and the team and all the great efforts. And so keep up the great work, and thanks for the presentation.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Anyone else? Seeing none, do we have any public comment? This is a public hearing.
None online.
I will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board.
Move for approval.
I'll second.
We have,
That's
I
a
don't- this is just a presentation. I apologize.
Why do you throw
Okay.
me off like that?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I was so excited by the presentation. I just want to just keep going. Yes.
Thank you very much. Hey, we will
Wait a
move
minute, he
on.
lives in Fresno County.
Property taxes don't stay here.
Thank you. Pending legislation, item 8A.
County Administration Department discussion and consideration to ratify a letter of support for SB 607 as introduced by Senator Weiner regarding the California Environmental Quality Act. This proposed bill makes targeted CEQA reforms, focus the law on environmental impacts, expedite review, and reduce the cost of costly litigation.
Thank you, Chair. This letter has already been forwarded to Senator Caballero, the Chair of the Appropriations Committee, because that's where the bill lies right now. It is it has a number of reforms that streamline CEQA, makes CEQA more usable for local governments, allows us to apply it for infill projects in unincorporated areas, and aligns the standards for all of the different CEQA type project reviews from EIR and negative decks to mitigated negative decks and everything else. It applies one standard for all so that we don't get into some sort of endless court battles over what standard they're trying to apply to which one of these, and I'm available for questions.
Any questions, comments from the board?
I just have a comment, and it's more about this bill. And yeah, it is a step in the right direction, but you know, it streamlines some processes and adds some clarity to the timelines, but it still doesn't address the core problems that we have with CEQA. It still allows for the abuse of frivolous lawsuits and endless delays by, you know, this group and that group. And these are projects that are clearly in the public interest, like fire breaks, water infrastructure. All these things can still be tied up for years. So it's a step in the right direction, but, and I guess it is California, so we'll take what we can get.
Anyone else? Do we have any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back.
We have one online.
Oh,
Go
thank
ahead.
you.
Go ahead, Charles.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'm a longtime resident of District 5 in Madera County. And I just like to,
What's your name, sir?
my name's Charles Brooke Allen. And I'd like to applaud you guys for supporting this. This is the correct direction. Yes, it's not as much as we need, but as long as we're moving in a good direction, that's what we need to do. I appreciate all you guys do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'll close public comment and bring it back for action.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamhaugh,
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes,
Vote passes 4-0.
thank you. Supervisor and staff reports. I will start with Supervisor Rogers.
Nothing to report.
Supervisor Wamhoff,
Nothing to report.
Supervisor Poitras.
Nothing meaningful to report.
Thank you. CAO Varney.
I just wanted to make sure the board was aware that we have a weather watch day coming up on Thursday. It should pretty much run all day Thursday. It's due to the low humidity and higher winds. So if you see more of that in the news as we get closer to Thursday, that's already been forecast by the National Weather Service. So it's a fire watch weather day.
Thank you. County Council
No report, Chair. Thank you.
and Madam Clerk.
I would like the world to know that Matt Skolnick's birthday is on Thursday. Happy birthday, Matt.
Happy birthday, Matt. Thanks for the weather.
Happy 2-5.
Anything from staff? Seeing none, we will adjourn. The next meeting is June 3rd. Thank you very much.